Good morning. This is Ronnie G. This is Saturday, January 1st, 2026. God can woke me up one more time. God can started me on my way. God can close me in my right mind and all my limbs are working properly. I've been looking at the news this week, and there is some disturbing things that's going on in America. There is a church almost on every corner. In the name of God and Jesus Christ, Christian people collected over $175 billion last year. Let me say that again. I'm talking about Christian entities, not Jewish or Muslim. Christian entities in the United States took up in collection of tithes or offering and whatever you want to call them, $175 billion. What did you see change? What did you see that they made better for God's people? $175 billion in 1 year. And that's going to go on and for eternity. They've been doing that for over 400 years, taking up money. And what do God got to show for it? Record number of people sleeping in the street. Sin just going wild, spreading like wildfire. And the people that said they followed Christ took up in 1 year $175 billion. And they've been doing that ever since the 1600s. Not that much money, but taking up money. And even before that, shouldn't God own everything in the world now? Shouldn't God own every car lot now? Every airport now? Every road and every bridge? Shouldn't God own that by now? Since the 1600s, they've been collecting money. And 1 year, they took up $175 billion. Where is it? Where's our protection from evil people? Where are our bomb shelters? Tell me. If there was a nuclear threat right now, tell me the location of your bomb shelter that you can go to. If you're making $50,000 or less, I want you to tell me this morning, where is your bomb shelter located? If Iran or China or Russia is threatening a nuclear attack, where are we going to go so we can survive? See, that nuclear attack of evil, that's not God coming against you. The Bible said that we're supposed to use the arms that we take up for the people that's the children of God. So where is all those billions and billions of dollars going? Where's my bomb shelter? Where is my protection? God tell us that we don't need to go to the world, go to the evildoers. God said we're supposed to take care of our people within. Where is our protection? You took up all of God's money in Jesus' name. What did you do for the sheep if they attack? What you do if there's a nuclear attack? Where do the sheep go to be safe? I know there ain't nowhere, there ain't no address, there ain't no phone number that you can call where you would go if we attacked by a nuclear weapon. Even the evil people, it's got sense enough to know that you got to have bomb shelters. Even the evil people know that you got to have storm shelters if you're in the middle of a storm. God took up $175 billion last year. Do you see it? Do you know who got it? Do you know what they did with it? Do you know where your protection they provided for you or your bomb shelter's address where you need to go in case of an emergency? None of them could tell you. None of them could tell you where the money is and what the money was used for. None of them. What good is taking up all that money? Since the 1600s that I know, I'm just talking about black people came here in 1619. And the pilgrim came here with the Bible in their hand. So if they got the Bible in their hand, and I know they came from Britain, and they got a church system, so I know they taking up tithes and offering. So even before 1619, they were taking up tithes and offering. Ever since we basically existed, they've been taking up money for God every year. And we don't got no military to protect us when you know the evil people is going to try to destroy God's people. You read it in the Bible every day. The evil people is going to try to conquer the people that follow Christ. Where's our army to protect us? Where's our storm shelter? Where's our bomb shelters? Where's our bridge over troubled water? Where are they strengthening us where we weak? Where are they building us up where we torn down? You know, as long as I've been on this broadcast, over a year now, you know that I'm going to tell you the truth, the unadulterated truth. I'm going to tell you like it is, and I'm going to talk like it is. There is no lie in the truth. No matter what you do with a lie, the truth is never going to come out of it. Everything that you know by you reading the Bible, everything that you know that's done in the dark, is eventually going to come to the light. The only way that I'm able to talk like I'm talking this morning, the only way that I'm able to get away with what I'm saying is because Jesus is right here by my side. When I meant that Jesus is right here by my side, I meant from Genesis to Revelation. That's what I believe in. Jesus is my rock. He's my rock. And he is my sword and my shield. Jesus asked his disciples, who do they say he is? And Peter said, thou art the Christ. And Jesus said, flesh and blood did not make this available to you. But my Father which in heaven. And Jesus gave Peter the keys. He gave him the keys to the kingdom. See, Jesus is the way, Jesus is the truth, and Jesus is the light. See, this is how you expose lies and people misleading you just for glory, just for a position, just for money, just for power. People will lead you all down dark highway in Jesus' name. They got a name for that, Antichrist. They tell you in John, in the last days, it said, perilous times shall come. Men, they're talking about God men, confessing Christ, they're going to become lovers of themselves. They're going to become blasphemers. They're going to be whoremongers. Trying to build themselves up instead of trying to help their sister or brother up. I couldn't do this if a lot of preachers and deacons and mothers wasn't nothing but liars. I could never do this. I can only do this because they are outside of God's will. The Bible says that anyone that asks God, they shall receive. Anyone that seeks shall find. And anyone that knocks, the door shall be open unto them. If you ask, as long as it's in His will, He shall give it to you. If you seek, as long as it's in His will, you shall find. If you knock and it's in His will, it shall be open unto you. Not maybe, it shall be open unto you. You've been taking up money in the United States since 1619. I'm going by blacks. We should own every piece of land, every business, every road, every bridge. We done had the resources to build it. Where are the bomb shelters? Where are the storm shelters? I'm 68 years old. Where are they? Where do I go? What bridge is gonna take me over troubled water? If I'm weak, who gonna strengthen me? When I'm down, who gonna lift me up? Billions and billions over the years, trillions. Where do I go in emergency? What door do I knock on? Who do I call? There is none. Weak people going around pretending like God can spoke to them. Or God can call them. Or God from some elevated them. What lie am I telling? You can comment, what lie am I telling right now? Where are they? They're nowhere to be found. They just wolves in sheep clothing. Antichrists. God said that there is many antichrists that's in the world right now. An antichrist is someone that denies Christ and try to pretend that they Christ-like. That's what an antichrist is. Take Christ's word and twist it around. That's what I'm talking about. It's just like right now, we got weak people in America They're going to let evil and dark-minded people take over the country when there's a church which represents Christ is on every corner. We're taking in at least $175 billion every year. And it says that there's a lot more that's not counted because churches take in a lot of cash. And they don't report it. The little small churches, they don't report what they take in. And the people claim that Christian is the majority in this country. And God we trust is on our money. And we'll let a small group of evil people take over the country and destroy the country and try to destroy the Constitution of the United States of America. I pledge my allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisibly with liberty and justice for all, not y'all. My job is to look at the Ten Commandments and come to a conclusion what's best for me and what's best for my family and my friends and my church family and my community and my town and my city and in my state. The Bible didn't tell me that I need 12 jurors to decide if you're guilty. The Bible didn't tell me I needed a judge or a lawyer or a courtroom to decide if somebody is guilty or innocent. As a disciple of Christ, Christ is the one that gives me the criteria on how I should judge and when I should judge. Christ's criteria tells me as a believer, as long as you got 2 or 3 eyewitnesses of something, Jesus said, let that thing be confirmed. If I can go somewhere and find 2 or 3 eyewitnesses to the situation, Jesus Christ tell me that thing is confirmed. And when Jesus tell me that thing is confirmed, I can act on it. That's what confirms me. If you got to make a decision, the decision could even be to take somebody's life. If the thing that you heard was confirmed by 2 or 3 witnesses, I need to prepare so if that thing come near me, that I'll be able to protect my family and my friends and my church and my community by whatever means is necessary to stop evil. The Bible entitles you as a believer, someone that keeps God's commandment. God have empowered you to act against aggression, to act against evil coming against your family or your community or your town or your city or your state. You got every right to protect your possession and your family. And people just sitting around letting the federal government destroy the Constitution and take away your rights. Your freedoms in the First Amendment is guaranteed you by God. God guaranteed you the freedom to speak. God guaranteed freedom of the press. God guaranteed freedom of religion. You can worship whoever you want to worship. In the end, God will judge you. All you need to make a decision for you and your family and your community, as long as you got 2 or 3 witnesses, you need to prepare for a storm. When that thing get confirmed that a storm is coming, you have to be ye always ready. When a tornado is coming, you go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and you buy particle board and you put it up over your window so the debris won't break your glass. When your car breaks down, you call a tow truck and you take it to a repair shop. When you're sick and you got pain in your body, you go to the doctor. When 2 or 3 witnesses confirm an evil thing, you have to get ready. You have to prepare for that thing when it comes. The 10th Amendment, right? The 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, right, states that it says any power not granted to the federal government by the Constitution are reserved for the states or the people. Each state, we have 50 states in the United States of America. Listen to me now. Each state is sovereign. Each state has its own constitution. Each state has its own governor. I'm in the state of Alabama. My governor is Kay Ivey. She is a Republican, but she's supposed to represent the state of Alabama, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent, it don't matter. Kate Ivey works for us. And Kate Ivey is supposed to protect us against all enemies, foreign or domestic. It's okay to assemble. It's okay to petition your government. It's okay by the Second Amendment to bear arms. But the person that controls the state police and all police in the state, and they also have state National Guard, that power in your state is given to your governor. That is the way that you fight. You get behind your governor and you pass your state laws to make sure that your state stays sovereign. The federal government is formed by the states. Let me say that again. The federal government works for the 50 states. The 50 states is the one that supply all the funds to the federal government. The federal government is just an organization that was formed by the states so they can put the money from each state into one big pot so they can fund the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine, the National Guard, the Coast Guard, the Border Guard. All those entities are paid for by the 50 states. The federal government don't make money, they spend it. They spend the money that came from the states. The states are the federal government. Every state sends 2 United States senators to Washington, D.C. All the people that Mike Johnson and them is talking about, the federal government is too big. It's only 2 senators from each state. So there's only 100 senators. There's only 435 representatives in the House. That's not a big government. 100 senators, 2 from each state. And the representatives are causing how big the state is. That's how many representatives go from that state. The state is the one that set that up. The states are the one that got together and made the Constitution. The federal government is the state. I don't understand. How come you can't understand that? The federal government was formed by the states. To do what? To represent the states. The poor states don't have enough people and don't have enough income. Say like they pay Medicaid. They apply for a grant and the state and the federal government take and pay that. The poor school that can't afford to fix their school and build good school. That's when the federal government comes in and give grants to help those poor states build good schools and get books and computers. That's what the federal government was set up, just like your 401k. Say, for example, you work at Mercedes-Benz, and they have a 401k program. And then they tell you if you own your 401k that Mercedes-Benz will match whatever you put in up to 15% of your salary. So if you got $100, 15% of your salary would be $15. So if you put in $15, see, Mercedes-Benz, I put in $15 too. And then if you work for that company and you keep on putting in your 15% for about 40 years or 30 years, when you get out, you have over $1 million sitting there waiting on you. That's the same thing with the federal government. Just call it your 401k. It's the same thing. The 50 states, they took and they ratified a treaty that they would give a certain amount of money to the federal government, to run the federal government. And the federal government is obligated to take care of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and so on and so on. They build all the interstates. Anything that says interstate on it was built by the federal government. Anything that's a federal building that got federal building on was built by the federal government. But all the money came from the state. The federal government and the states are the same. Everybody that's part of the federal government lives in a state. The federal government is an entity that was set up and that's funded by the states. Now the federal government have turned on Democratic states. The federal government that takes our money have turned on black and brown people and tried to destroy them. Donald Trump had a journalist, Don Lemon, arrested for going into a church doing interviews. He didn't do no crime. He went in because the Constitution said freedom of the press. They can't arrest a journalist that was only doing his job. He didn't break no laws. The federal government sent the FBI into Georgia and raided an election headquarters, which is against the Constitution. Elections is a responsibility of the state. Election is the responsibility of each state. States are the one that hold elections, not the federal government. Donald Trump didn't have no right to go into a sovereign state that's over a sovereign election and raid his headquarters. American people, I know you're not that ignorant. I know you know. I know you know that Donald Trump is wrong by arresting Don Lemon, and he's wrong by raiding the headquarters in Georgia. You know that. Thank you.